Hey guys, in this video we'll be talking about buying a home in diaspora versus buying a home in Africa. This will be an interesting topic to deal on. You know, now buying a home in diaspora, you don't need to have all the capital to purchase a home. You don't need to have all the capital to purchase a home. It has to do with your cash flow and stable source of income. So purchasing a house in diaspora has to do with your cash flow, if you have a stable source of income or not. That is the first consideration to buying a house in diaspora. So your cash flow matters a lot in diaspora when it comes to buying a home. Now you purchase a home or an apartment, a single home or a condo. You don't need deep pockets to purchase. You don't need a deep pocket to purchase a home in diaspora. Another thing about buying a home in diaspora, you cannot buy the land. You need to have a deep pocket to buy a land here in diaspora, because buying of land is not even part of the option when it comes to owning properties in diaspora. So you can mostly purchase an existing building and renovate it to your own tastes. That is one thing about owning a home in diaspora. You have to purchase an existing home. You can bring the building down, reconstruct it and all that, but you have to purchase an existing home and then you fix it to your own tastes. And again, there are many mortgage brokers and financial institutions that assist in purchasing apartments. All you need to do is to meet up with the requirements. All you need to do is to meet up with the requirement. So in diaspora, there are brokers who assist in getting the financial assistance and all the making the applications to banks and all that to meet up with the mortgage of buying a house. So we have series of financial institutions backed up by the government to render financial assistance to those who wants to buy a home, especially when you have a steady flow of income. So when purchasing a home in diaspora, land does not even come to play. All that comes to play is purchasing an existing. You can get a cheaper price from an old structure and then you construct it to your own taste and all that. So, but the basic thing when purchasing a home in diaspora, you have to have a steady source of income. You have to meet up with the requirements, and also there are financial institutions that helps in making this a reality. All this saves the hassle, the stress and all that from owning a property in diaspora. So the financial institution has been made in a way whereby you can get access to credits in doing things you want to do. Buying a home in Africa, the first thing that comes to play, you have to buy a land. That is the first thing that comes to mind. But in diaspora, it is not what comes to mind. So in Africa, you have to buy the land. You have to get a master plan, do everything for you to get the home up and running. You have to have also a deep pocket, because while you are building from scratch, because you have to buy the land before you start the building, the plan and all that. But in diaspora, you buy an existing home and then you refurbish it and you restructure it to your own taste. Now in Africa, due to the recent emergence of real estate agents, brokers and all that, it has now made buying a home a little bit less stressful in Africa. Why? Because this real estate agent, they came in, they buy the land, they plot the land, they build the houses and then they put it out for sale. And it is also those that have deep pockets that can also buy those houses. And the method of instrumental payment has no backing by any financial institution. It has no backing by any financial institution. Because why? The financial institution of Africa is not built in a way to give stability to the low income earners. Has not been structured enough in a way to give low income earners a stability, especially when it comes to owning a home and paying instrumentally. Now, thanks to the real estate agents and brokers and all that, after constructing the houses, in their own discretion, they will also make it more a little bit appealing by saying, okay, you have to drop a down payment and then you pay the installment in a certain period of time, but not more than 3 years. Most of them, maximum is 1 year. You have to complete the payments. So, which was why I said you need to have a deep pocket in order for you to buy a home in Africa. So the financial institution does not back you. Buying a home in Africa, you don't even need to have a steady flow of income. Even if you have a steady flow of income, it is not also a yardstick for the bank to give you a financial assistance. Because why? The credit system is not fully functional in Africa. The credit institutions are still trying and struggling to survive. The data to back up all this for full implementation has still not yet been standard enough to give a soft landing to the low-income earners in Africa. Which is why you see a normal regular African parent will struggle to buy a land, will struggle to build the house, take them time, years to build the house to their own tastes. But in diaspora, that's not the case. You get the financial assistance from the financial institution, both to purchase and to refurbish. So it is difficult to get a mortgage in the African banking system or in the African financial system if you don't have deep pockets and connections and all that. So the mortgage system in Africa is still something new, and it is still something that is growing, that has not yet come to fruition. But in diaspora, the credit system works, the mortgage system works for everyone, both the low income earners, the high income earners. All you have to need is to meet up with the requirement and have a steady source of income. And another problem that the financial institutions, when it comes to credit rating and all that, faces in the African financial system is that there is lack of data and analytics and analysis to back up and to track the progress and the process of the mortgage system. Whereas in diaspora, everything is tracked, everything is mapped out. You cannot escape from anything. But in the African system, you can get a mortgage from a lenient bank, and within a twinkle of an eye, the individual disappears and is nowhere to be found. So the financial institutions are struggling in Africa. We have series of financial institutions in Africa, but they are struggling to survive. Where you see some financial institutions, microfinance and all that, they come up and they give loans to individuals, and then they default in the payments. They refuse to pay, they default in the payments. And then you see these upcoming institutions struggling to survive. They struggle to survive. The foundation of the diasporan system of banking is built on credit. So if a credit is not being paid as at when due, can also lead that financial institution to bankruptcy. So we know Africa is still an upcoming nation. We'll get there one day. We'll get there. It's still work in progress. But please, if you're in Africa and you see a financial institution that is ready to lend you any financial support, regardless of the amount, please do your due diligence to pay the installments as at when due. Do your due diligence to pay the installments as at when due. Because why? If the credit financial system is able to stand in Africa, then things will be much more better. Life will be more better. and people will live well and happy. So these are the few tips I have for you. Home buying in diaspora versus home buying in Africa. Stay tuned, subscribe, like, share to get more insight, more info on the differences in living in diaspora, living abroad, and living in Africa, and the system and how all these things can be worked on and improve. Because Africa is a growing nation and it will take time to get there, but we believe we'll get there. But please, if you're in Africa, always pay your debts. If you borrow money from any financial institution, try your possible best to pay it. Until we meet again, remember.